City Podcast will be starting shortly. Please take a moment to acknowledge the following sponsors of the Prison City Podcast, the best podcast on planet Earth. Prison Pizza. Come on down for the best pizza you've ever had in your entire fucking life. Every pizza has been made perfectly every single time, has been delivered in perfect time, and it has the perfect price point with the perfect amount of toppings and the perfect amount of sauce. There's never ever been a single pizza in the history of Prison Pizza that's not anything short of fucking perfect. Come on down to Prison Pizza, check out our salad bar too, and 846 or 406-846-4800 Prison Pizza for life. Fuck you. The Adventures of Pete and Kit, folks, is now available on YouTube for free. It's the all-time, old-fashioned classic about two brothers living in northern Idaho that just get into all kinds of fun and trouble. Tons of fun. It was written by Matthew and Kelly Cutler, official members of Prison Fuck Me, and Patrick Cutler edited and produced it. The Adventures of Pete and Kit. More fucks and F words than you can imagine. Just search The Adventures of Pete and Kit on youtube.com or look up the Cutler Brothers Production YouTube page and find The Adventures of Pete and Kit there. It's really, really fucking funny. Das Fruit Improv Comedy, possibly the best and funniest improv comedy team on planet Earth, is looking for new bookings for the 2022 season. Go to dasfruit.com if you want to book the funniest fucking improv team on motherfucking planet Earth. Das Fruit. If it's not funny, then at least you'll get offended. What are we looking at here, Bob? Oh, nothing, Pete. Just the best fucking pizza you'll ever have in your entire fucking life. Prison Pizza, 406-4 something something. I don't fucking care. Prison Pizza. Hi, I'm the local dentist here in Deer Lodge, Montana. There's a dick on my face, isn't there? Fuck Pat Cutler, he's nothing but a sexist piece of shit. Fuck that guy. Mad Dad, the family-friendly comedy that everyone sits around every Easter and watches. It was originally written by Kelly Cutler, directed and edited by Patrick Cutler, and stars Matthew Cutler, Martin Reinbold, who just got out of prison, and a couple other people. Mad Dad, a good old family-friendly comedy that can now be found on Amazon Prime. Search Mad Dad and you'll just laugh your fucking balls off. It also stars Prison City Podcast member Mahomes, who currently lives in Omaha, Nebraska. So let's go Cornhuskers, yeah! Ladies out there, I now present you a picture of God himself. Say one more fucking thing about Prison Pizza, and let's see what happens.
I mean, I understand there's no good segue from what he just said.
Just be professional, text me back. Whenever I message you, show me your tits.
Once again, there it goes.
This disease or that disease or aliens coming down and taking over.
No shit.
I got hot milks in my area wanting to bang.
Sexual experience.
No, you don't know Pat well enough. I can see how someone might be like, fuck this guy. Why is he saying that to me?
Oh no, she's out.
Gee, what the fuck?
But we are certainly not back on track.
No, you guys were acting like you couldn't hear a word I was saying.
He told me I shouldn't park in a handicapped spot, and that was his response.
Oh, then I think maybe I can't with you, man. You can't tell me that you're all pissed at someone when you hit him with that stuff.
And this all happened in 10 minutes? No wonder she got offended.
Did you just yes and that shit? Yes and?
They're so fucking worthless.
Welcome to the Prison City Podcast. When the bars go up, you're officially locked in.
And we are officially back, folks. Welcome back to the Prison City Podcast, everybody. We have a banging show here for you tonight. I never had to do this before broadcast. We had some technical difficulties there starting the stream up tonight. A few things went sour. We had a radio frequency breakthrough, our initial setup. And not sure what happened there, but I was taken down, so anybody caught the first 7 seconds there. I do apologize, but that was not anybody on this podcast at all. It was a break in our frequency here. that just so happened to happen. You know, things happen sometimes, and you just learn your lesson and you move on. Already we had the reason I'm saying is we have a listener on already. Drew is back on. He just moved to Houston, his nice house in Houston, and here he is. Holy fuck, Kelly, your goddamn beard. I'll let Kelly respond to that in there in a second. Let's go here. So I just got back from Texas 2 days ago with Texas Frightmare Weekend. I went down there. It's the biggest horror convention in the Southwest, maybe one of the biggest in the country, probably. It's fucking nuts down there. So I got a cold. I've been sick for like the 500 times in 5 months. I'm traveling like every fucking month pretty much, and hopefully that stops at some point. But yeah, tonight's show we're going to talk about some trending topics, including not limited to Roe v Wade. That was leaked and it might be overturned, which is really kind of interesting there, and probably some other topics. So let's go around the horn, starting out first with Kelly. Yeah, I had some technical difficulties there to start out the show. I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, I'm not the tech guy, so I'm not the one to ask, but I do want to say thanks for the comment on the beard, Drew. We are in the middle of, yes, thank you for that. We are in the middle of Fiddler on the Roof. It runs another 2 weeks, hence the beard. I was just telling these guys before we started the podcast that I've been growing this for 2 months, longest I've ever had a beard. Not a beard guy, but it is what it is. And I'm excited to talk, about a very, very funny subject in Roe versus Wade.
So we're going to bring out the jokes tonight, right? Mahomes for Roe v. Wade tonight. Can't wait for the jokes.
Yeah, I'm going to have nothing to say on that. So I'll definitely not talk about it and just talk about something entirely different when that comes up.
Let's talk about the moon landing then. Switch gears a little bit.
I'd rather.
God, how many topics do we have to add to his ban list if I refuse to talk about this?
That's just common sense to not want to talk about that.
And Matt. Yeah, how you doing tonight, Matt?
Good. Hey, yeah. So about that frequency, yeah, that really messed up the whole beginning there. I never had that happen before. I don't know where the hell that came from. But after watching your intro video once again, I feel renewed because that thing has a lot of cussing in it. So I was like, okay, well, it is what it is. Let's move on. We'll not have any more errors tonight, human or computer wise.
Yeah, Mahomes' the first show. I think we should just skip right to the topic, right?
Yeah, man, the Fright Fest. How was it?
Actually, I have a little bit of update on the War on Prison Pizza to share with everybody tonight.
What? The war that's been over for a month. Here we go.
So, this all started. This all started with, someone made a post on Facebook trying to bash Prison Pizza, a local business in town, and that's the original post. And then a bunch of people just bashed the fucking hell out of it because that's what people do on Facebook. They do low-level things like that. So this person did this post here and made a huge deal because I simply said that you're a loser if you do something like this. Not a big deal. So then, just to add, kind of as we go on, the controversy here, apparently, and then she made some false accusations about me, and apparently this guy is just fucking nuts. I'm clearly not. He's a weirdo. Not true. So that's happened. Kind of turned into an all-out brawl there on Facebook for a little bit. So the update was that we got a new pizza place in town. She was posting photos, and a lot of people were like, it's 100% positive reviews. They're just like, oh my gosh, and like it's just like pretty standard pizza. It's pretty good. It's not bad, but they're posting all of that, and it's just weird, Mahomes, that the pizza now that she Prison Pizza isn't only pizza place and she can just eat as much pizza as she wants. She's actually getting rid of her treadmill like immediately because she definitely does not want to lose a single ounce of weight now with that new pizza place in town, right?
I mean, I guess you could argue that now there's multiple spots so she can walk back and forth to the other one, and that's going to burn the calories. But I don't know. You are like the guy. I remember reading that story that there was some guy like in the forest that thought World War II was going on, and like 30 years after it ended. out in Japan. That's what you are with the war on prison pizza.
So yeah, Kelly, what do you think about that new pizza place? She doesn't need to lose weight or anything now because there's a new pizza place in town.
I think the beginning of this podcast is the biggest trolling moment of this podcast, posting that, because I literally just put it in our podcast chat half an hour ago.
And the funny thing is, Matt, she's not even like offering money. She wants it gone so fast, she's just giving it away for free.
Yeah, that's what you do with equipment you don't use, I guess, you know. I can't lie. We got fucking, workout equipment around here. I ain't gonna fucking use it. I think about it. That's about as far as I get. But she does have a point there.
I think she actually will lose weight because what they used the treadmill for was they put slices of pizza on it and it would just shuffle it into her mouth left and right.
Oh, Jesus, criminies.
That's what I imagine.
Yeah. Any comment on that, Bones?
No, that's a pretty mean-spirited thing to say about somebody.
Or you do the old the fishing hook method where there's a fishing hook with a pizza on the end of it, a slice where they're running after it, will never catch up to it.
Yeah. So, Mones, I went from the war on prison pizza to yelling at something at the corner bar. You have no idea who you're fucking with. I'm on a hot streak right now.
You are, man. Someone's about to tell you it's a nice day outside, and you're going to punch him in the face. Like, you're on edge, man.
So Drew had a question. Did anybody ever count the fuck count in the intro?
There's 22.
There's 22. Wow, what are the odds? That's my lucky number, 22.
I know. Everything's coming up, Pat. You'd almost think you did it on purpose.
No, that is super odd. 22 F words. So I'll touch on this briefly. Drew was asked about the Horror Fest. Mahoney wanted to ask about that too. I was going to bring on Don Brown tonight to kind of talk about some of the things we did down there. So I won't talk a ton about it, but because it was
who you did down there. Ooh,
who we did down there. Yeah. Well, do you want to pull her Facebook profile up, folks?
No.
I
don't want this show to turn into that. All right, let's just stream
hey,
as we go
Mahoney, if we literally had anything that someone could gain, will we be sued by now?
A million times over. Yeah.
I just can't believe the whole Deer Lodge circle came, I guess, full circle down in Texas. Even like the Deer Lodge drama followed them down to Texas, and it's not because of Pat and Don. Primarily, they're were at the gist of it.
So
eat that up.
God, I shouldn't talk about all this information. It's a little bit private. Should I release these private details, Mahomes?
No.
It's just phone numbers and addresses.
Yes. He just does Google Maps of everyone, like drop it where they are.
And social security numbers.
I'm gonna skip around. I'll just beat around the bush a little bit here. There was a girl that lives in Texas. I thought she lived in like, I don't know. I didn't think she lived in Dallas Fort Worth area, but she lived there. She used to visit in Deer Lodge, and she was married, but she acted like she wasn't. It was kind of a weird thing. We never hooked up or anything, but she definitely acted like she wanted. And basically, yeah. So let's try to beat around the bush here really quick about this. I kind of blew her off. We'll say it eventually when she was in Deer Lodge, Montana. Then she kind of didn't block me, unfriended me or whatever, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So anyways, last fall, her ex-husband starts sending me messages about this lawsuit. He's trying to get his kids back, all these things he presses. He sends me just crazy documents, court documents.
And here we go, folks.
and it's just, it's bizarre as fuck. But his last message to me is like, please tell me if she sent you nudes. I can take it to my lawyer. I'm like, okay, no, I'm fucking out of this. I'm out of this. I'm not even joking with you. It's like, dude, I just need my kids back. It's like, dude, I don't even see my own kids right now. I'm not gonna fucking get into your divorce. Trust me, the lawyer will never tell you. But it's like, I don't fucking trust you. I'm not giving you any details on anything. With that said, though, that kind of blew up, and then she was calling everybody in Deer Lodge about her, and it was just really fun. He wanted to investigate weird dates, and it was just really fucked up. Anyways, turns out, we go down to Dallas, and Don is walking in the airport with me, and he's like, "Oh, we're in a car in an Uber." He's like, "You'll never guess who contacted me." I was like, "I have no clue. No way. And then he's like, "Yeah, she does." Like, I thought she lived like in like Austin or somewhere. He's like, "No, she lives like 30 minutes away from where we're staying at." So she tried to like hang out with us like the entire fucking weekend, pretty much. But we dodged her like the entire time because it was just fucking weird.
Is she's from Deer Lodge, or you just know her?
No, she's from Deer Lodge, and she was in the military, moved to Texas, and all this stuff. So, but she wasn't messing. She was messing Don. And finally, last night, Don was drunk, and he went and hung out with her or whatever. But it was just like, yeah, the Deer Lodge circle is just weird. That Deer Lodge circle is like, you went all. Matt said you hook up and like, yeah, we went all the way to Texas to have sex with someone from Deer Lodge.
Yeah. And her social security number is 21436.
So that was an interesting plot twist there when we landed there. You might say that was the horror fest, you know.
So you just got back?
Yeah, 2 days ago I just got back. I got like almost like basically like a fucking red eye Monday, and I just got a fucking bad cold the last 2 days. Yeah, I got back like Monday afternoon. So, yeah, a lot of fun down there. So we talked about Detroit, and again, I know Mahomes really wants to get the Roe v. Wade, so I'll wrap this up as soon as possible.
Yeah, no, I can't. I really can't imagine wanting to have my opinion on that blasted on the internet.
You're not hearing him right. It's Jamie Roe versus Wade Heimbach.
No, is it a race or something?
You stole. I was going to say 2 Deer Lodge people too, but I didn't want to name drop, so I'm glad you did it.
Yeah. So yeah, the festival, and it was at a fairly decent sized hotel there, but it was fucking massive. Like it was wall to wall people. Like in my opinion, the venue was not big enough for that amount of people. And it's like wall to wall fucking people, and they're serving drinks at like 10 o'clock in the morning. So of course it wasn't out of control. But of course, people were getting in fights and shit like that. The people were camped out overnight in the lobby and stuff to get in line to get autographs from these people, and they're not even like Leonardo DiCaprio or anything like massive, which is weird. You know, it's like they're all good actors and actresses, and they've done a lot of movies and stuff, but like none of them are like massive. Like
who was like the biggest star there?
Like Robert Englund from Freddy Krueger.
Yep.
There's a guy that like stayed in line for like 12 hours to get his autograph or whatever. So like, yeah, they're in Detroit. Detroit, you like hang out with them a little bit, talk to them, show them the alien photos, kind of talk about Redgate, and it was on a smaller venue. And then like after they got done with the convention part of the day, you go hang out with them, have drinks at the bars and stuff, and actually make connections and things. With this one, it was so fucking huge. Like it was impossible to really talk to anybody hardly about anything. It was just kind of like boom, 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 you're in and you're out. So the other thing though is they call them film festivals, film festival and convention, but really they're just conventions. No one's there to see any movie at all. Like no one goes to the movies. Like nobody.
Well, can you tell some of the stories you were telling last night about you guys waiting in line and some of those weird fucking stories?
Yeah, but I want to have Dawn on here. I don't want to like have like.
Fuck Dawn.
I want to do that like next week. Yeah, I'd like to do that next week. But that's just the gist of the overview of it or whatever.
Okay, so we're punting those stories until Dawn can get back from wisdom.
Dawn get back from wisdom next fucking weekend for that. So let's go to the Dave Chappelle attack. Do you ever watch the Dave Chappelle attack?
I saw some video of it.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but I read a little bit about it. So what? Yeah, Phil saying what happened there.
Drew. Yeah, Don should have been on tonight, but he has other bullshit he's doing. Here we go to it really quick. Let me share my screen. The Dave Chappelle attack coming up. You guys see that good?
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll just play this. He's just on stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for hip hop history.
Oh, what the fuck?
I'm going to kill them. Wait, I gotta see this. Thank God that was clumsy. He's back there getting stomped.
And he was not wrong about that because he was actually getting back there and getting stomped. That's like what the Oscars, and then now so that's like the second time he's been attacked in like what 2 months.
It was Chris Rock was the Oscars.
Oh, geez, that's why I couldn't look at that. Yeah, Chris Rock was the Oscars. That's right. So it was Chris Rock. So that's even worse. It's like these performing the Oscars is a little bit different, but you see more and more of this where like performers are getting like attacked by like people out of the audience and shit. It's really fucking weird.
Well, I wonder if it's fucking staged, honestly. I mean, it's like all the Antifa bullshit or these pieces of shit groups that, it's like go get a fucking job and live your life and pay your goddamn taxes, It's like a total war and attack on comedy, which is literally, and I'm going to go as far as it's an attack on the First Amendment, because we talked about this yesterday, at the folks' house. Comedy should be and should always be the place where you could say whatever the fuck you want. We need a genre, a medium for that. We could say whatever you want. People can disagree or agree or whatever, but you need to have that to protect the freedom of speech. It doesn't matter what's going on in the world. You need it. And I just see this as like clearly, I mean, it might be coincidence, but two blatant attacks on comedians, giant superstar comedians. And I'm fucking sick of it. I think you take these cocksuckers, including Will Smith, and you fucking throw the book at them as hard as you can and put them behind bars. Like, let's get back to like consequences for your fucking actions.
100%. Yeah. I think it's just crazy that, it's the second occurrence in a short period of time. It's like you can't. This is a lot different than the Chris Rock thing. This is just a guy. He wrote a rap song about Dave Chappelle. I'm not getting the whole background. The guy had planned it out. He had like a fake gun and a real knife on him, and I'm not sure exactly what it was. The weird thing about this is he hits him and then he runs away. That's the weird thing.
As I say, why the fuck did it take so long for like security to do something, or like even at the Will Smith thing? He goes up and decks him and people just kind of just stand around and just kind of let it happen. I was like, this is kind of like if I went up there and fucking did that shit, it wouldn't go well. I wouldn't even get to the guy I was trying to punch or stab or slap or ass fuck whatever.
If I was Chris Rock, I would have tackled Will Smith and just gone ape shit on him. Like if that's a legitimate thing. But that's why I'm wondering, like, is it staged, or is it like a group that's just like, hey, you should do this? This is an attack on comedians for whatever fucking reason. I don't know. I would lose my shit. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you can heckle or whatnot. If you come up on stage, I would seriously like go for the jugular if someone did that to me as a comedian. I mean, we did it in a comedy night 4 years ago. Some guy was just heckling us and just saying stupid shit, and he wouldn't shut the fuck up. And then he starts talking shit to our mom. We walked out of a comedy night skit, grabbed him out of his seat, and threw him out the front fucking door as hard as we could. And we haven't had a problem since.
Cool, and end up having like a continuing arm injury from that.
I hope he can never fucking use his left arm again. I sincerely hope that, because fuck that guy. Like, know your place. Don't come to a comedy show and get offended and say, that's racist when we're not even like making anything close to a racial joke.
Yeah. In that case, hey, what do you think about this, Mound?
I saw there was a video that came out. So Chris Rock, there was a bunch of other people performing at the Hollywood Bowl, and Chris Rock was there, and kind of after stuff got like whatever situated, he walked out and grabbed the mic from Chappelle and was like, "Hey, was that Will Smith?" Like,
oh, really?
That's a pretty timely joke.
That's funny.
But I don't know what if the dude's looking to get notoriety, like, I don't know, he's got to understand, like, guys like that have bodyguard. I mean, he probably got the shit kicked out of him backstage before the police got there. So I'm not sure what he was trying to gain from it. And I don't know, like, why he just randomly, like, tackles, throws the old spear at him for not, I don't know. Like, Chappelle said, I think it's hilarious. And I mean, does he say stuff that could make you mad? Yeah, but I don't know. That's a lot of comedians say stuff that could make you mad. Like, I think Dave Chappelle is hilarious. I think he's funnier than Chris Rock, and I think Chris Rock is funny.
Dave Chappelle might be honestly the most talented comedian ever. Like, I've heard stories about he goes to that comedy club, the Comedy Store in LA, and Mike Freeze has been down there and saw they have these backroom shows you can sneak into. He just sits up there with the fucking mic and just cracks jokes like till 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, sits there and says whatever, like just off the cuff, just says what the fuck ever till 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, he's one of the most talented comedians of all time. Here's a picture of the guy that attacked Dave Chappelle, and you guys can see what happened to him.
Yeah, that's really him.
That's really him. Yeah, he got fucked up.
Good.
Good. What did he expect? I guess I just don't get it.
Yeah, he got messed up and then he got chained on that thing or whatever. I have no idea what he was thinking. I like to get more background on it. I haven't heard a lot of background, but it was definitely a planned thing.
Well, you know how at football games now, if you streak, streaking used to just be a thing, but now if you do that, like, you go to jail and you're charged with like indecent exposure. Like, it's a big deal, like, to stop streaking. I think they need to start doing that for comedians like this. You come up on fucking stage and you assault someone, you should be in bigger trouble than streaking. That's just like someone running around showing their pecker, and all this shit. But you come up and you punch me in the face while I'm telling jokes, and that's what I'm there to do. That's assault. Like, send that motherfucker to prison. Seriously.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. The thing about the Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith thing was that a lot of people say that Jada owns Will Smith's balls pretty much. So it's like he didn't have a choice to do that.
Well, doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it right, man.
I can see a lot of people, because even the first time I saw it, I was like, it's two actors, like, well, Rock's a comedian / actor, like, super well known. When he goes up and does it, like, it felt like a bit. Like, the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, this is like, what was the next joke? And then, no, I guess he actually did go and slap him. But that I could understand why other actors were like waiting for, it looked like a bit initially. That's why no one stopped him.
Hey, well, is that the new fad though? Now coming up on stage and attacking comedians? It's like, is that the new thing to do because it's getting national attention? I've never heard of it till 2022.
Yeah.
You don't like a joke? Go up and attack the comedian.
Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, if you ever walked on our stage, I'm not saying we'd win a fight, but if you ever walked on our stage and did that, we would beat the living fuck out of you. Like, I would have absolutely no mercy. I would grab your balls with my teeth. Because that's such a gutless, spineless bullshit thing to fucking do. I'll stand behind it 100%. There's another thing. I don't know if you want to pull up, Pat, but what's his name? Snoop Dogg had a take on the Will Smith thing, and this is Snoop Dogg saying, "Oh yeah, that was fucking fake." Like, I saw that whole thing, and he's just like, "That was fake as shit." The Oscars slap.
Oh really?
Yeah.
The thing is, if you watch the way he if you do theater at all, the way he planted his foot and swung, that's something you would naturally do as like a stage actor. You plant your foot, swing, make sure it times it out right. And if you really looked at it, like if I were to go up and like ears to go up slap Monty in the face, it would just you just fucking do it. Yeah, you don't necessarily like plant and the way if you really watch it, I can see why people would think that, because the way he did it was really fucking weird.
Well, either Will Smith's a giant fucking pussy, or if you run up on stage, like if I'm actually pissed, like this guy just made a joke about my wife and I'm going to run up on stage, guess what? There's no like stopping and thinking about it. Like Pat said, planning and slapping. I'm like running up there and like, we're fucking going. And if you're Chris Rock, you're backing off. Like, this motherfucker's like coming at me, you know, you're diving for the legs or whatnot. Like it just would not look, it would look more natural, you know, like someone just losing their fucking mind, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, would that be like the last case scenario too? Wouldn't you be like, no, fuck you or something like that? Don't say that shit before just, you know, nothing before that, just going up there and I guess he did yell something.
Yeah, I didn't pull the whole thing. But the other thing is,
I don't know
is the Oscars. The Oscars ratings have been so fucking low. That's why other people think they wanted the ratings to go up. And so, but if you did, I think also that you could sit there and say he did it, like, you know, sometimes you're like pissed, halfway pissed, but you're not like out of control pissed, and you're like more doing it like you're pissed, but you're doing it half playful. That's why I think maybe also that it wasn't like a full wind up, like he wanted to fucking hurt him or something. I think partially he did it as a joke, you know. Partially, kind of like when you roast somebody and they happen to be up next and they fucking spend the first 5 minutes jabbing the person to just roast them because they clearly were partially pissed about something the person said. You see that on a roast. Like, no, it's not that bad, but you've seen that on a roast before. It's like,
I don't know. I just think if I was pissed and I walked on stage, it wouldn't be this nonchalant stroll up to the stage and then, okay, set and go. It would be like, hey, what the fuck, dude? Like, no, seriously, fuck you. You know what I mean? Whoever just said it, there'd be some words and then maybe like, just no, fuck you. And then maybe like someone swinging a fist. But yeah, it just, and Chris Rock, like, not even to defend yourself. Like, he had time to be like, throw his hands up or like dive out of the way, you know? It's like, I'm sure he's a fast guy and shit. I don't know. It's just very, very strange to me what's going on. And in all honesty, it really fucking pisses me off because this is our life. This is what we've built our life off of, is getting up on stage and saying shit that people aren't willing to say. And that's why people buy tickets to come watch it, because they want to hear what other people aren't willing to say out loud.
Oh, 100%. Anybody else have anything to add on to that topic?
No, it's just weird. I hope it doesn't like continue. I hope it doesn't, you know, I'd rather see someone go up and like spear a politician they don't agree with during a debate than a comedian. At least, you know, politicians actually impact your life in bad ways by like raising your taxes and shit. Like, go spear those assholes. Leave the comedians alone.
Oh, like Gianforte tackled that reporter.
It is weird though, like how politicians, like even like Gianforte, that's even a lower level case, how they can fucking just get away with murder pretty much, and you can't touch them.
Ridiculous. Yeah,
that's why whenever you hear like, oh, Trump's saying Hillary's going to go to jail, or they're saying, oh, we're going to put Trump in prison. It's not fucking happening.
Not a chance.
You're not putting a former president in prison. It's not fucking happening. Not a chance.
No, I think the thing with the whole Will Smith thing is, for one, we've said it multiple times, to distract you from what's really going on, and two, that's just how media works. That was the next big thing, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of phasing out now. We got this Chappelle shit here in a week. Give it another week, it'll be something else, you know, and give it another 10 minutes, it'll be Roe versus Wade.
I was watching a TikTok video. Yeah, Roe versus Wade. Give us another 10 minutes. I was watching a TikTok the other day, and the guy's like, Netflix is like losing money, Disney's losing money, and he said one other thing is like something big's about to go fucking down. It was really fucking interesting.
Well, Netflix is losing money because they're like they're not making good shows, and then they're gonna like introduce commercials, and they're taking away the password sharing. They're doing all sorts of dumb shit.
Here's my thing with Netflix is like when they came out with that Sandra Bullock, was it Bird Box? Is that what it called?
Yeah.
And that was like that was a cool ass thing because it was like, holy shit, this big blockbuster thing. Sandra Bullock's in it. It was like so like this is so cool. I could just stream it off my fucking Netflix account. But when you do that over and over and over again, it kind of loses value because there's like 500 shows like that now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, in a way, they did kind of overproduce, and then they have like that. That's the like, we live in such a point Kelly's made a million times. We live in such a spoiled ass time. Like, there's so many good shows on TV right now. I'm just like, I don't have time to watch all these good shows.
And when
I
you
can't
say
start
that,
it because there's too much good shows.
Yeah, and when you say the word overproduce, you mean like Corey Mahar overproduced?
home runs. If that's what you
Name
mean.
dropping, just name dropping.
I'm gonna go back though to the politicians getting away with murder. Gianforte, at the time this happened, where he attacked this reporter, wasn't even an elected official. He was running for Senate this time. Now he's governor of Montana. But I mean, I reviewed the tapes. I reviewed everything on it, and yeah, he pretty much just attacked a reporter for asking like questions he didn't like. From I think it was Guardian. Like it was physical assault. He faced nothing for it.
Yeah, you can't do that. Like you can't just do that to people.
Like, yeah, you can't just attack someone in public. Like people get in fights at the Montana bar, even here in Deer Lodge, they end up facing like fucking jail time and shit. Like,
Yeah.
It's not like they just like, oh well, you guys are just, hey, they both are fighting, let them go. It's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not like that.
We have a friend that's a female, and she was down at the Montana bar, and my wife was bartending at the time, and a fight broke out, and she got like 3 assault charges, a girl, for like punching dudes in the face.
Oh yeah, Courtney.
I was like, but Will Smith just walks free, and he's on national television where everyone can fucking watch that shit, you know?
Dude, yeah.
Yeah,
Courtney, she could throw down.
Basically, what they should do is just be like, actually, when they're about to get booked, I'm running for legislature, and then they'll be fine. No charges.
Well, I
why
want
did
to
you say
say
something?
the Chappelle thing. Maybe it wasn't staged, but I'm just saying the Will Smith occurrence gave like an open door, an open window, saying, "Hey, look, celebrities are doing this," and people are so fucking nuts, you know, that they're like, "Oh, well, they did that, so apparently it's okay to do this."
Yeah.
And so maybe it wasn't staged, and maybe that's just like, yeah, it's in people's heads, just like, you know what, I don't like this comedian. I'm going to go to his show, get a front row ticket. I'm going to run up on stage and deck him in the face. I mean, and that can happen in a split second. And that's fucking scary. And again, it's an attack on the First Amendment, because if that happens enough, how many comedians are going to want to get up there and say certain jokes or any jokes whatsoever, knowing like, I mean, you're going to have like a mosh pit crew like they do at the heavy metal concerts, where you got like 10 security guards just right in front of you all the time. It's like, really? Is that how we want to perform comedy? Like you have to have the Secret Service fucking there?
Yeah. Drew's after been real. Hey, we got a new fan also tonight. Rabid Hobo. I just want to know if Darth Vader will be in the new Obi-Wan series on Mahomes.
I honestly, yeah. And, you know, it is May the 4th. So I can understand that question. And the odds are very high, is my guess, based on just kind of the timeline of the series as I know it. So,
and I think Darth Vader is anti-Roe versus Wade.
I'd like to answer Drew's question really quick. Yeah, of course they don't know how to fight. They're actors.
I say fans have done it in sports for years. Now entertainment, I blame WWE. Yeah, WWE's done it a lot. It's hard to tell what's real on WWE anymore. WWE.
Yeah, I heard they're changing the name now. Will Smith's movie Hitch, they're changing it to Bitch.
Nice.
They're changing it to Little Bitch.
Hey, you can't be making like if you go on stage and make those jokes, you need to be in the Popemobile.
You know, I don't really think I will ever care for Will Smith again, whether that was staged or orchestrated or whatnot. I was just like, dude, you turned into a fucking baby on national television, and it was embarrassing, and I don't even fucking like give a shit about the Oscars or you. But it's like I truly will never care about Will Smith ever again. But I do like Chris Rock so much better. I do like Dave Chappelle so much better, you know.
Yeah,
they get a fucking gold medal from me.
Hey, Dave Chappelle's like a comedy god. He's so fucking good.
Yeah.
He's so down.
Dave Chappelle, you're right, is the fucking best, because he doesn't play into the I mean, he jokes about the politics, but he just doesn't play into shit. He just doesn't care. And that's why he quit the Chappelle show in the first place. He's like, no, they were trying to like hard press him into certain things, and he gave up what, $22 million or something, or maybe more.
Oh, he passed on a lot back then.
And he's just like, fuck you, and he moved to like Fiji for 2 years.
I'm pretty sure he's probably recouped that money by now.
Oh, are you kidding me?
100%.
Some of the funniest sketches I've ever seen were on the Chappelle show. Like that guy is a genius.
Yeah,
he's fucking hilarious. He doesn't care.
Yeah. So Roe v Wade time.
Enjoy. Yeah.
Well, I kind of,
Jesus.
if we're really transitioning from Dave Chappelle to Roe v. Wade, then I kind of want you to set us up on what's actually going on. Because again, I've tried to stay out of politics for
Good
a
job.
while now. So
Your life's you're probably happier than you've ever been.
yeah,
Well, here,
I
I'm gonna
got a
share.
beard and I look suicidal.
I know you got a beard now. All what's going to happen? You're going to turn into the Unabomber once you start getting back into politics.
I'm going to show you exactly what's happening. I see 7 of the trash just took themselves out. That's what's happening.
Oh, she was
Jeez.
talking about the Supreme Court. I get it.
Jesus.
God. People back me so much on social media. People don't know that those screenshots were actually fucking sent to me by multiple people after she blocked me or whatever. Not getting back into that. Let's get back on track here.
Something tells me we will get back into that.
We are at full capacity here at 4 live viewers, guys. Joey Ray is in the house.
Hey,
Say
Joey.
hi, Joey.
Oh,
What's up,
man.
Joey?
Hey, Joe.
We got,
Man, 4 people and it's not us.
Yeah. I think Drew's still out there. Drew's out there somewhere, I think. Rabbit Hobo's still there. Dave never wanted to be
Rabbit hobo.
Jeez.
They
So
never
this
wanted
whole
to
this whole Roe versus Wade thing, I think I'm going to take Roe plus 140 is what I put $10 on tonight. So hopefully that comes true.
And see, I think that's a silly bet because Dwayne Wade just has the experience. I know he's older now and he's not as practiced, but you can't Dwayne Wade. That's decades of high value experience.
Okay. I know that Roe kid from Spectrum needs to come fix my fucking cable. I know that much about the case.
So let's talk about Roe v. Wade. So people anybody watch this podcast, their IQ level has to be high enough to know what Roe v. Wade is.
Let's start out with a good offend the audience comment.
That'll get them. That'll suck them right in. The fact that we have 4 people at the 40-minute mark is a fucking miracle. So let's see if Pat can. Let's see if Pat can lose them here in the next 2 minutes.
People. Yeah, exactly.
So Supreme Court law that was done, what is this, fucking 70s, was it? I only looked that up. I guess I wasn't really prepared to give us.
What the fuck we doing here, man?
We're talking history tonight. 1973, there it is. And it outlawed, made abortion illegal, legal.
I just love that. This is Pat's essentially our producer. Not essentially, he is our producer. And he's just like, all right, so this topic, hold on. You guys fill some dead time while I Google this really quick.
So are these dates going to be on the test?
Yeah, see, we get the live viewers in, we get more viewers. So I'm going to go to a quick article here and just basically what happened was the Supreme Court. This is the most fucking bizarre thing about this is they somebody. Oh shoot! Oh hey, what's up? I locked the door.
Yeah,
Tim Tilley just showed up.
I locked the door.
Moose.
Hey, come on,
gentlemen. Hey, let him talk. Let him say something.
Okay. Hey, say something. Just say anything.
Hi guys.
Hey.
What are you drinking? Little Halo hat?
Jeez.
You better do it.
Yeah, do what? Take a shot?
Mhm.
I'll take a shot. So,
Jesus,
here's our producer. He went from Googling to getting peer pressured into ripping shots.
cheers,
Yeah,
everybody.
Hey,
maybe
Tilly's our Roe
this is
versus
what,
Wade expert.
I know.
I was going to say, maybe if Pat gets off track, we won't have to talk about it.
what if somehow Tilly did have just all everything bullet points?
No, you know what's funny, Kelly, is Mahomes doesn't want to talk about this so bad. He actually called Tilly 5 minutes ago. It was like, show up with a thing of Fireball for Pat.
I did. And I called a bunch of other people if he wasn't ready.
He's like, there's a key to the box office in the under the mat in front of the door.
I was telling it'd be cool if I put a video camera, have a live stream in the mountains and the sun setting, cut that every once in a while. I'm gonna do a shot here. Shots there. Kelly, you drinking tonight?
I'm having a little bit of wine, yes.
I think that's always like a little bit of something when you're doing the Prison City podcast. Then you're stumbling out of there with like a lot of what? Taco Bell sauce? Is that what you're drinking?
Taco treat sauce from Great Falls, Montana. Very good.
Oh,
there
nice.
you
All right. All right. Bring in that rest of that beer.
Hey, bring in Tilly. I hear he has a great PowerPoint for us all.
Yeah, Tilly has a good PowerPoint on the road. We're talking Roe v.
Well,
versus-
Tilly knows
God.
more than all of us because he was actually 28 in 1973 when Roe versus Wade became a thing.
Yeah. You'll be right back. All right, dude. I'll see you in a little bit. So we're gonna skip right to Roe v. Wade here. Finally, halfway through, and let's just go through it. So basically, I was talking again. It was leaked. The Supreme Court documents, a draft was leaked, which is just like really fucking weird. It was leaked because these are never leaked, ever. So there's that point of it. It was leaked that they had the Supreme Court had drafted a bill to overturn Roe v. Wade. So let's just get into the fucking actual articles. I'll just read that directly from it. And this would overturn this would overturn it on a federal level. So it would make it illegal on a federal level, which you know marijuana and stuff like that. On states levels could still like do stuff. And that's so just going on, that's a state's choice. And then this is what Rabbit Hobo is saying is also saying state's choice. So that's just a little bit of the impact. It's complicated though, so let's just get right into the fucking actual actual thing here. So
Mahoney, you there, buddy?
Mahomes
Yeah,
is
sorry.
So this is from NBC News. Women's right to choose fundamental. Okay. This one caught me off guard because Biden said that women's right to choose fundamental, but mainly his administration will be ready when any ruling is issued. It's like that's not how like it works. Like the president doesn't like overrule the Supreme Court. Some like just some of the stuff, some fucking illogical stuff whatsoever. There are protests outside the Supreme Court across the country after a draft opinion suggested the High Court plans to overturn Roe v. Wade. On the leaks, it was confirmed that it was authentic. Chief Justice called the leak an egregious breach of the court's trust. I mean, this is a really, really horrific breach for the Supreme Court to ever have this actually happen. Is really mind-boggling to begin with. Democrats on Tuesday consider a bill that would codify abortion right protections, and the bill appears to be lacked the 60 votes. Some lawmakers draft condemned the opinion while others celebrated. Okay, I'm trying. This actually isn't really the best article on it. To tell you the truth, I actually don't really like that article.
Well, how the fuck
do
did the
your
leak even
research.
happen? Was it someone, one of the court members that? I mean, how the fuck's that even happen? Hackers or what?
So yeah, I just want to get the gist of what actually happened. Damn, dude, I just got this guy just showed up. Back up to like 4 or 5 viewers. This is the Dark Horde Never. I believe I'm going on their podcast like tomorrow. Is it? Fuck, I think it is tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going on their podcast. What are the
I think
odds?
it is tomorrow.
All right.
Hey, we'll be on your show tomorrow. We will not be talking Roe versus Wade. I tell you that much.
Yeah, I hope probably never again.
Yeah. I just knew Mahomes really want to talk about this. And then most likely a clerk leaked it. It could be a clerk. It's just really weird. It's really, really weird how this leaked. What do you think about the leak?
I just took one, so that was nice. I don't know, man. Who knows what to believe with all this? It's crazy that it's our highest court in the land, and something leaked out of there. Like that's a problem. Like that's a huge problem. So I just don't know what to trust with the government at pretty much any time, other than I definitely need to pay my taxes. Like I know that for sure. That's the thing I know for sure.
Yeah, Kel, what do you think about that leak?
Yeah, I just have no clue. You know, you can say it was a clerk or whatnot. It's just like how many people are privy to this information. And, you know, if it was somebody, because it's not like the Supreme Court's all on the left or the right. They're kind of a mixed breed, and they always are, you know.
I think it's still mostly the right wing, I want to say. But
mostly, but not all.
Yeah, the Democrats are getting a liberal Democrat in there now under Biden. But I still, even with that new person that's still right wing. I think by like a couple judges, I want to say. No, but there's a lot that aren't like hardcore. They're like moderate right.
So it's just strange to me. Like, I mean, if it was actually one of the justices themselves, which I just don't see. I mean, you're in the highest court of the land, and that's the highest form of treason or whatnot that could happen. I think then again, like you said, with political figures, it's like they never fucking get in trouble for anything. So you see that, and you're in politics, you're a senator or a governor or whatnot. It's like, oh shit, I can get away with any fucking thing that I want because we never ever get in trouble. I mean, one scapegoat here or there, poor bastard. But other than that, out of the thousands of people that work for the federal government, in politics, they don't get in trouble. So I just think it's fucking shady as shit. I'm not surprised whatsoever because it's the American political system. But like somebody just said, this basically means, if it goes through, it's just going to be a state's decision, which I truly agree with. I think the local governments should have more power. Our city should be more powerful than our county more powerful than our state, because that's how you keep the control of the American, beautiful democracy that we've built. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think people that are freaking out on Facebook, women's rights and all this shit, coming from 4 dudes on a podcast, which they never watch this. I don't think it's what they think it is. I don't think it's as detrimental. I know it's not as detrimental. It's just like give more control to a smaller populace, because the federal government is just too expansive to make any decisions whatsoever.
And Kelly, you got a fan there, and Joey says, "Hell yeah, fucking right."
Hey, thanks, Joey Blowy.
Oh, I think Mahoney said it, and I agree with him. It's kind of like the next big thing that you think, or that they want to push on you, and the next big thing that people are talking about. Because you said people are freaking out on Facebook. Oh my God, over this shit. Where when us living in this podunk town are like, okay, well, do you really got to get so into it when at the top level that you can't do shit? Whatever they decide, it's not really gonna matter what you think or don't think. So I think that's definitely a political thing that people are fucking going nuts over, and they want people to go bananas over it. That's the next big thing.
Talking about going bananas, that's why they think there's an article I'll get to here pretty soon, but they thought that maybe somehow with someone in the Democratic Party, Dave Portnoy said this from Barstool Sports, someone within a Democratic community might have leaked this out because Biden's numbers are terrible and the midterm elections. So for the record, Mitch, I hate fucking talking about midterm elections. It's the same. Politics is the same fucking cycle over and over. Somebody wins presidency. The midterm elections to the opposite party that lost always fucking wins the midterms. It hasn't changed. So they're like, well, maybe they leaked this to do that or overturn it. But get this. A Gallup poll conducted. This is article from May 3rd, actually yesterday. They just did a poll on what do they think? 47% of people believe abortion was morally acceptable, and 46% said it's morally wrong. It also revealed that 48% of Americans want abortion legal with limits. So those aren't like massive numbers that are super pro-abortion, but these people are talking on TV. You think that like 80% of people want abortion legal. Like it's not like that. It's not an issue still to this day. It's not an issue that is just like cut and dry. Like, oh yeah.
I saw a meme today and you guys have probably seen it, that says, all young men should have a vasectomy until they're, they have enough money and they're mature enough to have a kid. Oh, see, does that make you uncomfortable, talking about regulating a male's body? I was like, well, it's not as black and white as that, when you're talking about abortion. I can see it, like, if you're like, I like double D's, so let's give every woman, a fucking tit implant. It's like that would be comparative to giving all males a vasectomy. But it's not that. It's a very gray area, because it's like, is a baby another human being? Is it a child? Does it have rights? That's a very gray area. It's not black and white. I'm sorry.
No, it's very fucking stupid in the fact that people are like, well, it's your body, your choice. But those same people, regardless what you think, are also the ones kind of going over the top, saying this is what you should do, this is what humans need to do, and blah blah blah, getting it for both sides. So it's like, okay, well, if it's their body, their choice, it's like, okay, then stay the fuck out of it. You know what I'm saying? Regardless.
And I'm going to talk on a dilemma that Elon Musk brought up. People are worried about climate change, all these different things. Do you know the reproduction rate in America and in the worldwide has dropped significantly every fucking year? Like every year. If human beings don't start reproducing again at like a consistent rate, there's not going to be a fucking human race. There isn't. Like
how much did COVID wipe out? Sorry.
Oh yeah, well a lot.
I'm not going to take that detour.
Please don't.
Yeah.
Please
don't.
What are your thoughts, Mahomes, on this?
I mean, on that particular stat, you look at a lot of people. You know, we're not spring chickens anymore, and we have older siblings or no older people that like.
Huh? Oh fuck! He probably had a really good point.
I think Mahomes just got aborted from this podcast.
Perfect freeze moment.
You got flag. Look at
him. He's continuing that thought.
He's continuing that thought.
I would, you know, I'm an open book. I'll talk to anybody about anything because I'm really curious about shit. And, you know, most of the reasons, you know, that they give you for abortions are such a tiny percent of abortions. I'm like, why are you talking about the 1% or the 2% when, you know, let's talk about it's like a dude that's on fucking meth and knocks some chick up and then leaves and he's not a dad and they never see him again. It's like, what percentage of men is that? Because it's not a high percentage. So why are we talking about the minority here? Which, you know, in some cases, it's like, I understand that medical procedures need to happen. I totally agree in some cases. But for the most part, that's not what we're talking about. It's somebody that gets knocked up, you know, and they are trying to hide it, or they're like ashamed or just scared, you know? And I think we need something, some outlet there, you know, where they can go and they can be safe and they can figure this shit out. But stop putting out the propaganda that the 1% or 2% of cases or less is the majority, because it's fucking not. In abortion cases or anything, any matter whatsoever, they put out such a small percentage. Do you know what I'm saying?
Like there's something like abortions themselves. It's something ridiculous. I should look at the stat, actually. I should prepare more for this. It's something like 91, 92, 93, something like that's by choice. There's a very small percentage that is, I'll be honest with you, there's almost none. There's people, nurses that worked in abortion clinics their entire life. Zero, and they'd come back, it's like 0% of them were life-threatening, or it was incest or something else. There's a very low likelihood that. I think part of the reproduction thing too is, and I'm not against contraceptives or anything like that. I'm 100% think you should plan things logically, but I think you have to definitely see with the advancement of contraceptives in this country that definitely that impacts reproduction rates and stuff, you know, where people aren't, you know, accidentally having babies as much, because that definitely makes up a certain percentage of kids. Like how many parents do you know, including our own, that like, you know, where our oldest brother was an accident and that wasn't necessarily supposed to happen, but if they're all fucking hopped up on contraceptives and fucking methamphetamines because it's the same thing. No. I don't know, you know, with our family, doesn't know, but I mean, there's a lot of things now where it's kind of like, yeah. Well, so back to Mahomes here. Oh, go ahead, Matt.
I was just going to say that abortion should not be, it's kind of become like a replacement for contraceptives, condoms, the pill, Plan B. It's like you can do a lot. You have a lot of stuff in your power to not get pregnant. So it's like, why don't we talk more about that shit than talking about abortion? You know, it's not, it's like the plan. Abortion is not Plan D. It's like that's kind of a fucking stretch when you could have just planned, you know, ahead of time, or went to the gas station and bought a condom or two and slapped it on your willy.
Yeah. And what was your point you're trying to finish there, Mahomes?
You were talking about just population. Yeah. And so I was talking about we all know we're older. We all know people that are not starting their families till they're older. And then, like once you have a kid, when you're in your mid to late 30s, you probably don't want to have another one, or if you have two, you're like, oh,
100%. That stat, a lot of people, especially women, are having children way later in life than normal. And then so you're going to have less naturally. Well, back in the day, it used to be like, I mean, Kendra's grandparents, they had her mom when they're like 18 or 17 or something like that.
Yeah.
Now it's like, it's like late 20s, early 30s for a lot of women out there. And the culture's changed a lot. Because the problem is for a lot of women in this world is that if you shack up with the wrong guy and say you're with the wrong guy, he's kind of a douchebag or whatever, and like in your mid 20s, you're early to mid 20s, you're popping out like a couple of kids, but and he leaves your fucking ass by like your late 20s, early 30s, you're a fucking hard sell to most guys. Like you're a fucking hard sell. And I think that's something that you have to consider is like the way society is painting a lot of these things that don't get fucking pregnant when you're in your early 20s, especially if right.
Well, and there's like there's two factors. One is like people are trying to like chase their careers when they're younger, right? And they don't. The one like America's just like child, here I'm blanking on the name. Your birth vacation, whatever that's called, maternity leave. There it is a joke compared to other countries. Like it is for sure. And then the housing crisis is like, I'm not like, if I wasn't, in Nebraska where the housing's not that bad, if I was in like California or some crazy place, Montana's getting out of control now, and I was in my 20s and I was still living in an apartment because it's the only thing I can't afford a $600,000 house to start a family, then I'm probably gonna not start a family. I don't want to have my kids like cribbed in the middle of my 1-bedroom apartment kitchen. Like the housing crisis is a huge issue, and then people are just so career focused afterwards because they're so worried about that.
I think social media, mainstream media has also divided men and women. It's just put such a huge divide on things, especially dating apps. Dating apps are fucking terrible.
Yeah,
there's so many guys. You say there's guys that have done these tests on Tinder Killer where they do a semi good, like a girl that's like a 5 out of 10, and they get a picture and it's a fake account, and they're like, we got like 1,700 likes and 50 fucking messages on inbox from guys within 24 hours. Where if you're a guy on Tinder, fuck, you get a handful, maybe.
Yeah,
a handful of matches with zero messages.
A handful of something, maybe.
So it's like, yeah.
I think the whole spectrum is thrown off, and I'm not giving any reasoning to it, or women are working more than they used to 100 years ago and stuff, but guys generally tend to date younger guys are attracted to younger girls, and girls are attracted to older guys. So like Pat said, if you're missing your shot in your 20s when guys are attracted to you, I'm going to focus on my career, and then you hit 30. I'm not saying there's no fucking hope at 30 or 40 or any age. I'm just saying to find a guy that you want to, that's successful, that's, got his shit together, that's going to take care of you. I don't know how to say it. They're not looking for 50-year-old MILFs, man.
I think you could have said it a little nicer than that.
But I mean, you know what I'm saying, though, right?
I think you're totally right. I think you're totally right when you say there is no fucking timeline for this shit, because I think looking back on it, you're like, oh shit, well, I'm glad I didn't do this or didn't do this or didn't do this. I mean, one thing I want to bring up is, why did God ask Abram to kill his only son? And Abram had his fucking son when he was like 90 years old or something. Remember that story? Yeah, Bible
but they
history.
lived till they were 1,000 back then.
Yeah, but once again, no timeline on, what I'm saying. I guess that's the religious side coming out with me.
I think, these are a lot of interesting things to debate, but I think part of it is like, here's the reality is like, it's still a balanced swing in this sense that like, girls can go on social media or dating apps and get like fucking instant validation from anybody, instant validation. So they have plenty of options. The problem with girls, though, is most quality guys aren't interested in someone that has 50 fucking DMs in her inbox. Like, it's hard for girls to find quality guys. So they'll go on 500 dice and not a single one of them will be worth it. And a lot of the quality guys are just like fucking checking out. They're like, fuck this shit.
I guess I'm saying, as a female, it seems like your window gets smaller and smaller the older you get to find someone that wants to settle down. You can hook up all the time if you're a female, no problem. But your window gets smaller and smaller to find a quality guy that wants to get married and have kids and stuff like that by the time you get older. And because you're being told now, like, get into the workforce and go get a job and shit like this, and which I don't want to mince words, like, that's totally fine too. I'm just saying you shouldn't close that window on yourself and say, no, I want to focus on my career, because when you roll around and you're 30 or 40, your options as a female totally change versus, like, as you're a male, it's just the older you get.
And that's the part about girls I feel bad about, is that they are on a fucking time clock, where their height of, like, you know, getting pregnant and stuff, you know, once they get to their early 30s, late 20s, early 30s, like, you're really fucking on the clock, unfortunately. Like, you're starting to feel that. And if you're not with a partner that's, you know, significant to you for a while, it's like, on the other end is that if a girl gets with a guy in her, you know, early 20s and she chooses the wrong fucking guy because she has a bunch of different options of whoever, then she kind of fucks herself with 2 or 3 kids. The guy just takes off and just leaves her on her own with nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, it's really, and
it's a tough teeter-totter. Yeah.
It's really tough. It's not, that's why I say, like, I go on these apps and guys complain constantly about its favorite. But no, it's not really. It's pretty fucking even. It's just, it's even in ways that you don't really understand, you know.
If you're a 27-year-old successful fucking guy that just sold an app for $1 million, most of them are not looking for a 35-year-old woman, no matter what the circumstances are. I'm just going to say that straight out of the gates, man. So I guess what I'm trying to say is all this new shit has been pushed on society, on both of the sexes, you know, for the last 20 years. And I think that's contributing to the population decrease and things just being kind of turned upside down and fucked up, and no, you know, a lack of family and family dinners and just what America was built on, you know, it's kind of been turned upside down.
People are pushing that aside for, oh, I have to do this. Oh, I have to meet this person and blah, 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 get a good job and blah, blah, blah. We're not really looking back and like, oh my God, I realized that I had 2 kids with this person and I don't even fucking like them. They annoy the living fuck out of me. So I'm saying,
right.
that, so they end up getting out of it and, you know, go back to being their single lives or whatever. But so it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, just to go back to abortion, you know, this guy right next to me, come on here. His mom actually wanted to abort him, and she didn't, and now he's here feeding me Fireball, right?
Oh, God. Let's round up horses.
What a smooth transition back into that category. Good Lord.
And now he's here feeding me Fireball.
Oh, God.
Thank God he's still alive.
It looks like he's aborting his liver right now.
Looks like he's aborting his liver right now. All right, let's get back on track here.
Back on track.
I think Wade's up 3-0.
Here, let's go to another article here. Devout Catholic Biden torched for appealing to his rights as a child of God to justify abortion, which is so fucked up because you're stopping a live beating heart of a baby that has a. It's just this is such a fucked up thing to say.
What? What is the video? Is that? Oh, the video is just an ad. I was like,
no, it's just like, oh, that video. Oh, I thought you were talking about abortion.
Yeah, I was like, what site are you on?
This is Fox News.
Oh, Fox News, fake news. Fuck that shit. That's everyone on Facebook.
Yeah, pretty sure God doesn't want his children murdering viable unborn human beings. This is where it gets weird because for me, it's like, in my opinion, Republicans do a fucking terrible job debating abortion. They do a fucking terrible job. If you pulled out the actual statistics and just spoke to the actual stats of what happens during an abortion and what the percentages of when abortion occurs, X, Y, Z, what the status of that, you want to determine whether that's a human being or not, you know what I mean? If they just focused on that and none of this other bullshit, I think they'd run the fucking table on it. Like they'd run the fucking table to make logical laws and things of that nature. But I think Republicans fuck it up so bad. Like Trump did a terrible job debating abortion with Hillary. They just, I can't talk about like how bad Republicans fuck up the abortion argument. What do you think about that?
Yeah, like I said earlier, it's a very gray area, and somehow we've gotten to a point where they act like it's black and white, like women's rights, men's rights, human beings' rights, and it's like I don't think it's that easy. This is like I don't know. It's just like I have I guess I don't have an example that makes fucking sense, so I'm just gonna shut up about it. But I'm just saying it's a very gray area that I think is worth more debate than just to say, oh no, oh they're taking away women's rights or anybody's rights. I'm like, I think we can just have a logical discussion on this and say like, well, what about this baby? What about this growing thing inside of you? Like, and again, they've argued for years. Well, I don't know. The first month, the second month, the ninth month. I just think those arguments are so fucking ridiculous. You know, it's like, well, is it a human being? Is it a baby? What is it? Do we need a chart? You know, when New York's cutting off kids' heads, you know, a week before they're born, I'd say that's fucking kind of fucked up. Kill me if I'm wrong.
Well, I don't have the stat. I should have prepared more for doing a thing on abortions. I probably should have prepared a little bit more, but
I was just saying, I just said I get what you're saying, Kelly. It's kind of like, regardless of the fact, think about it for a second. You have a kid that you just don't want, plain don't want, no like whatever, I got raped or whatever, regardless, but you just plain don't want it. I mean, is it morally acceptable to just terminate something that you just plain don't want because of this? Because now that's going to make it acceptable for every fucking person. I mean, I know someone's got to make money here, but we're talking about a moral thing now, you know?
Right. It's like, I don't know. It's like arguing apples and oranges. Like we're playing a game of Texas Hold'em, but you lost the hand, and now you're trying to say, well, I won the hand because the paint on the walls is, you know, blue and not green. It's just, it doesn't make fucking sense to me, you know?
Yeah, shoot. So percentage of abortions by the CDC. This is hard. These aren't the best charts I have. 58%, I'll just say 58% of abortions happen after 6 weeks. So 58 abortions involve stopping a live beating heart because the baby has a heart at 5 weeks around there. So you have to stop an actual. So that's my problem. Is like when people say you're just aborting, you know, a zygote or something like that. You know, how many abortions actually occur where you have to stop a live beating heart? And that's my biggest problem. Is like, okay, you talk about like, you know, they want to talk about like killing of animals, all these different things, but you don't believe a live beating heart declares a person human. I'm kind of fucking lost on that part of it. That's where I'm kind of lost.
Yeah.
And the arguments for like David Portnoy argues, the arguments for it never talk about what actually occurs during abortion, or the percentages or anything. Especially people on the left, they just talk about abortion rights and my body, my choice. They don't ever talk about what actually occurs. Why can't you talk about what occurs? You know, after 5 weeks, you're destroying a live beating heart. That's what happens. Why can't that be the discussion? I'm talking about Democrats and Republicans like that.
Yeah, why can't you talk about all of it? Like, why can't we talk about fucking everything? That doesn't make sense to me that you can't talk about everything.
Well, say your cat goes out or your dog goes out and gets pregnant or whatever, you know, and you didn't want it to and didn't expect it to. It's like, what are you going to do in that situation? Most people are like, oh, we had puppies. You want one? You know, just go in there and like, must destroy. I know.
Well, and that's kind of getting into like the adoption thing. Well, there's so many, you know, kids out there in foster care and no parents to adopt them. And I get that. That's another problem. I'm not saying that's not a problem. I'm just saying like, don't, again, apples and oranges, like don't compare one problem to the other. It's like, let's talk about both of them. And there's different solutions to both of them.
I know if people aren't ready to have kids, they can always, again, you know, they can always, you know, go for adoption. I'll kick this one to Mullins because this is interesting. Our brother Albert has adopted all three of his kids, and the adoption process in this country is fucking insanity. What do you think about that?
There's like, I love America, proud to be an American. Like, I think we have it as good as you can possibly have it. But there's a lot of stuff we could fix. And like the people like Albert who really just wanted to have kids and clearly had a stable job and a good home, like it shouldn't be that hard. We shouldn't have people that want kids that can provide them a good life and other kids that are like they should have this home to go to. And then we have all these hurdles and like I get that they're like in theory trying to do the right thing and make sure these kids don't end up back like as wards of the state, but you're not like I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like it's pretty easy to just like maybe just have a sit down with someone and look at their background a little bit and be like, yeah, you're probably not a total pile of shit. Let's get you a kid.
I totally disagree with the adoption process in this country or maybe the whole world. Like, I think it is so fucking ridiculous. I mean, and then you'll see people that are like terrible fucking foster parents and have 20 kids. It's like, but this couple that both has steady jobs and is making $250,000 a year and lives in the suburbs of Chicago or whatever, they have to pay $50,000 for a kid. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I don't get who set this up.
No, the foster system is insanity. You like to be a foster parent? Jesus. How many times do you smoke meth per week? Oh, only once? All right, you can have the kid.
Yeah.
It's
That's because it's
sweet.
not with fosters. It's not permanent. That's why apparently it's okay. Put them with the worst person on earth because it's not permanent. Apparently.
One thing I was gonna say one thing I can't fucking stand when people say like, "Oh, teach your kids to go to trade school because you don't want to get stuck with a 4-year degree, blah blah blah, and all this shit, student loan debt." And I was like, "Wait a second, some of these fucking people saying this on Facebook, it's like, okay, like my mom, literally people that went to school for teaching." They took care of your fucking kids, motherfucker, while you were being a piece of shit parent. I said, these people that had to go to school and can never pay it back, yet you're fucking playing gonzo, driving a fucking, I don't know, snowplow or something. It's like, yeah, it's just unfair that way, I guess.
Not to switch gears here, but that's why COVID was so fucking ridiculous because, like, especially in Alaska, these low-income families and stuff, like, their getaway was to go to school and stuff for a lot of people. And they lost that during COVID. Hey, this is my biggest problem. And this will probably be my last take on the night on this. This is my biggest fucking problem. This is where I've always stood. Is that saying that this isn't fucking human? Like, that's not fucking human? Like, that's not fucking human. That's the argument. That is not a human being. Like, that's fucking hard for me to swallow and sit there and say, that's not fucking human. It's a hard pill to swallow if you sit there and say that you believe and you're a nice human being and all these things, but that is not fucking human. That's not human.
Yeah, I agree, but please never say that's hard for me to swallow when you're showing a picture of a fetus ever again.
I knew you were going to do that. I was going to make that same joke. I'm so glad someone else did, so I'm not going to hell. You are.
CG.
What was I going to say? Oh, people, make the argument too, Pat, where it's like, oh, so this kid should grow up in foster care and potentially have shitty parents or whatever they're called, why? I'm like, well, if you just look at life in general, from human beings to animals to trees to bugs to everything, every single thing on this planet wants to be alive. Every single thing. Flowers. There's so much, abundance and growth in this world. Everything strives to be alive. It doesn't matter if it's a pissant or the president of the United States. I'm serious. They want to be alive. So how can you tell me that something that was going to grow up to be a human that could potentially be the next big scientist or Thomas Edison or whatnot, or president of the United States, how can you tell me that thing would rather be chopped up into pieces than fucking live in wherever it gets designated when it's born.
Once it gets to a certain point, it's all surgical, and that it actually fights to survive as it's being chopped up, like it fucking does. Like, you're telling me that you're a nice, great person, and you're this wonderful person, but you think that should be legal? just murdering something that's trying to fucking survive, a human being on its way out. That's where I have a huge fucking problem. Why can't you talk about that? Why, I was like, or why, I don't say why you can't, because you can. It's just they choose not to, especially conservatives. Republicans don't ever talk about the truth of it. And that's why I think the whole thing's kind of fucked and fixed to begin with. It's like, you're not talking about the true matter of it. Republicans aren't.
Grab
Their
a
arguments are garbage.
again, not to go back to the same comparison, but go fishing, try to reel in a fish, try to catch a grasshopper, anything. Nothing wants to not be alive. Everything wants to be alive. Like being alive is so much better than not being alive, apparently. Like go out there, try to fucking catch a squirrel with your bare hands. It shows you that life in a flower, you pick a flower, it grows back. I think that's a pretty simple concept to grasp. If even a flower wants to grow back and be a flower next year, I'm pretty sure something growing that will be a human being, the greatest form of life, wants to be alive on this planet. I'm pretty damn sure.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think, I don't know what's going to happen with the Supreme Court. This is really kind of entering. I mean, we went from fucking COVID to World War III almost to now Roe v. Wade might be overturned. We'll see what happens here. You know, who knows? I mean, we're living in a wild fucking West right now.
I wonder what the fuck is going on, because like Roe v. Wade hasn't been talked about. I mean, it's been talked about, but it hasn't gotten serious attention, like this since pretty much Roe v. Wade happened. And then the comedians being attacked on stage, and then what's her name? Gabby Petito or whatever, that you guys follow that murder trial in Wyoming or whatnot?
I know the name. I haven't followed it.
Well, I guess my point is you get all these big shocker moments and it's like, is this actually going on? Or like Matt said earlier, is this supposed to distract you from something? It just makes no sense. Like, why is all this shit happening? And maybe we'll get the answers, but probably not.
100%. Will we get the answer, Mahomes?
Man, everyone's bringing up valid points, but I think the one thing we forgot to talk about today is a local Montana kid getting drafted by my Falcons. I think that's something I don't know how we glossed over that. But I know I'm excited about it, and I know the fan base is really excited for what he can bring.
Hey, how about what's his face getting drafted getting picked up by the Patriots? Not drafted, but picked up. That's pretty cool.
Who?
Cook. Didn't you?
No,
used to teach
the
him?
Bucs.
He's on the Bucks. He's on the Bucks. I did, yeah.
Oh,
I had
fuck. That's what. Yeah,
day
fuck. I
camp
think Tom
thing
Brady
for him long time ago. So I was probably his first actual coach. So I don't know. Maybe I'll get a kickback from it.
Oh, God. You were his first coach?
When he was really little, I did a day camp in Deer Lodge, and I mean, him and his brother Dallas were probably. Dylan's probably 5. Dallas is probably 7 or 8.
Oh.
They were little. I mean, maybe even younger than that. And so I was teaching like the first time they ever like got taught how to hit off a tee and like shoot hoops and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
Jeez. And don't they have another little brother that was supposed to be like? What's he doing? Is he a Butte High
He's way
Bulldog?
younger. He's like way younger. Yeah, he should be playing for Butte High.
Oh, he is. Okay.
He's like way younger.
Because you hear about all these families, and they're like, "Oh man, you think they were good? Wait till this kid. Yeah, he's in 5th grade.
Well,
wait till he gets."
I think they had 2. Then they're like, if they don't pan out, let's have another one just in case.
Well, I don't think they'll be having any more unless there's a conjugal visit in the near future.
Yeah, I certainly don't like his odds.
Well, not if Roe versus Wade is upheld.
Hey, just really quick, they did a survey, and here is what most men look like that are for abortion in this country. That's what they look like.
What are you doing, man? What is that? Golly.
You don't have one of those?
I can't say as I do. No.
That's that went out like several years back. That's the manly bikini thing that I don't know if it was ever proven to be right.
Like, how did you just have that?
I know,
How did
joking.
you just have that ready to go?
Hey, Mahomes, if you think I'm going to stand away and just lay down like abortion is becoming illegal, this is what I have to say for you right here.
Oh God.
Oh,
Good God.
All right, it's time to round the fucking horses. Clearly.
Shit show.
Good Lord.
hey, Mahomes, do you ever wonder how they let us still produce this broadcast?
It's because there's fucking 4 people watching. They don't care.
Oh shit!
Oh, yeah.
Is Tilly still there, Pete?
Oh, he went to have a cigarette. Now he's gone. He hasn't came back.
Oh fuck me!
Hey, I'm going to announce really
Yes.
quick next week's special guest here coming up here. Here's going to be next week's special guest.
Who the fuck is that?
I have no idea who that is.
James Nicely coming on. Talk about fucking heroin and meth.
Aren't you, like, so I'm just kind of curious, as now it's a complete train wreck. Aren't some people watching on a podcast you're supposed to be on tomorrow?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
It's
Just
gotta
making
be-
sure.
We have a message from one of our special guest commentators here really quick, and then we'll move on to rounding the horses here. Fuck you and your shitty little theater. Pizza sucks. Fuck off.
Oh fuck.
As I say that with a screenshot of me and my mom looking friendly.
You should just call this episode the name drop episode.
Seriously.
Seriously.
Golly.
All right. Well, I think it's time to round those rows and wades.
Here's around those horses. Have you
God.
round the-
I couldn't be more ready. Yes.
Let's get Mike Freeze on here.
Mike Freeze, welcome to the show here. What do you think about abortion?
Well, Pat, you know the thing is 5 hours later.
We're all here till next week.
Hey, just
I love you, Mike.
quick,
Sorry.
a quick comment from Mike Freeze on Roe versus Wade, and then we're out of here.
Kelly's beard's like down to the floor when he's done.
A quick homily
No.
by Mike Freeze.
Hey.
We love
I'm
you,
gonna-
Freezeries.
we love you,
He's
Freeze.
not watching. He's never gonna watch this. You kidding me?
We're gonna do a quick comment on this year's Junior Buzzards special guest here this year.
No, fuck. Here we go.
All right, that's enough.
All right, there we go.
That's enough.
All right, let's round those fucking horses. He's using all this alcohol and he takes off. God, I wish he would have been fucking aborted. All right.
Well, that's
That
what
one-
keeps our 4 viewers coming back every week.
I know.
Yeah, there's Joey Ray still tuning in. The rest of the crew has left this show for some reason.
No way.
He ain't
Wow.
lying.
That's wild, man. The 4 people were just down to 1 after we talked about Deer Lodge people and abortion for a while. I wonder. That's crazy that we weren't able to keep them all on.
Yeah, crazy. All right, so let's end this. Let's round those horses. We'll start with Matt. What do you think about tonight's show? Oh, wait.
You know,
Drew's
Pat,
still here.
I
Drew's still here. You just didn't want to say shit.
Hi, Drew.
There we go.
Hi, Drew.
All
Hey,
right,
Drew.
go.
All right, Drew. So yeah, I thought it was actually a pretty good episode. I like discussing this shit. You know, it's weird discussing it on a live forum here. You know, mostly we discuss this shit over campfire when we're wasted. But hey, it worked, I think. And I guess I just gotta say, I was talking about with Kelly earlier that we need to do a live broadcast from the Montana bar where we set up on the stage at the Montana bar, home of the Prison City podcast, one of these weeks. I think that'd be fucking fun.
That'd be so. I'd add on to like Matt. So in Pittsburgh, they used to have a broadcast crew on this popular radio station in Pittsburgh, and they would do their game day broadcast from a bar down like in fucking Southside. Most people don't know Pittsburgh. Southside's a hopping place in Pittsburgh. There's a lot of cool bars down there, and they would do their pregame for the Steelers game down in fucking Southside. And I like the idea. My biggest problem is like have like Mahomes in there and loop that audio through. We get the technical wise, we have to figure that shit out. But it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yes, it
we
would.
should do it when I'm there before. I guess I'll be after JB's this year, but we should do it then.
Oh, we should. That'd be fucking fun. We should. All right, Kelly, your last words tonight?
Yeah, I think it was a different but good discussion, and I think my biggest takeaway is that we should be allowed, everyone in this country, in the entire fucking world actually, should be allowed to talk about anything. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me if you can't talk about something. That sends up so many red flags. And maybe it's uncomfortable, obviously, but it's just like, I think the more you talk about it, the less uncomfortable it is. And then you can like hear like, well, what do you think? And I will sit down. If they're not punching me in the fucking face and we could sit down and have a conversation, I will sit down with anybody. I'm like, I want to hear why you believe what you believe. And then I'll give my 2 cents and we'll see if we can come to some common ground. But once you say, you can't talk about that. No, you can't talk about that. You can't talk about that. It's, like women's issues. Men can't talk about that. Well, guess what? I'm a man. If you want to talk about men's issues, I'll listen. I'm all ears. I'd love to have a discussion about that or anything else. So that's my biggest takeaway from this is like people get offended so easily, and I'd rather just have a dialogue because I feel like that's how we can sit down and have some common ground and figure out what we do agree on, and then maybe some of our opinions shift because we actually fucking open our mouths and talk about it.
I'd say 100% there. And to clarify, I wouldn't say that what I was saying there about abortion that they can't talk about it. It just felt like even like Republicans, they won't talk about the facts of the matter. And fuck, I gotta wrap this up. The Moose is heading back in here, so I gotta wrap this up.
Oh fuck! Here we go, Moosey.
So I'll go to you, Mahomes.
Yeah, certainly an interesting topic. I knew exactly what you were going to bring up today, just given the news cycle, so I'm not surprised. I am curious. Like, I figured there'd be some pretty interesting stories from Dallas, so I guess that's going to be an interesting, a good tease for next week. But overall, I mean, I think we talked a lot about the Atlanta Falcons draft and what we thought that they did there, and I think that should be kind of the highlight of this episode and probably what you should name it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. Like, I think a lot of people tune in, especially Drew, because Drew has told me this. Like, a lot of people tune in that honestly hear the drama that's going on in Deer Lodge. So if we can incorporate that in every episode somehow, that's our selling point.
That's the only reason I tune in.
Hey, I want to say, and my birthday's on Monday, so we're going bowling at Victory Lanes, Mahoney, and going to try some of their delicious pizza.
I hope, man. Let me know how it goes.
Hey, what time? Tilly gets off at 7:00. What time is it going to be actually at?
Oh, he's off all day Monday, so we can go whenever.
Cool. Yeah, that'll be fun. We're going. So, for those not familiar with the Victory Lanes, is a bowling alley that started pizza, and let's just say Prison Pizza's been doing fine actually. But they have, I have the pizza. It's a solid pizza. I don't mind it at all. But yeah, we're gonna go there and actually try it out. We've actually ordered it already. Matt's ordered it, and I've ordered it already. Just say what it tastes like. We're gonna go there and support their local business because we're all about supporting local businesses, right?
Amen,
yeah.
Man.
And one more thing about Roe versus Wade, I just want to end on a shitty note.
Matt's like, hey, it's my birthday. We got this great thing. Actually, I got one more opinion.
One more opinion. All right, boys. Well, it's been a fun one.
I thought you had something to say there.
All right.
No, I was joking.
Anyone who's looking to, any of our fans are still listening, show up on Monday at Victory Lanes, and you can bowl with the Prison City podcast team.
God,
you got to buy your own shoes, though.
and your rounds and all your drinks and food. You just get a B by them. You don't.
Let's just cut the line here. Live episode on Monday from the bowling alley with the new pizza place competing against Prison Pizza.
Yeah,
Fuck, I wouldn't promise that.
Prison pizza is going to be delivered to us too. So
at the bowling alley.
But we're also going to get their pizza so we can compare it right in front of them.
Oh yeah, do a live stream. Do a live stream taste test. That'd be great.
Tilly, I have a 6-pack of beer or 3-pack left from Tilly. Where did he fucking go?
It's time for you to sneak home, my friend.
Get out of there. Lock up and get out of there.
Tilly's lurking in the shadows of Deer Lodge.
I know.
Never know where he's at.
I can see him coming back. I went back there and he was gone.
So I broke the window because I left my car keys in there.
Then I drove the sagebrush because he wasn't there.
Hey, we're still live, guys. We're still live. This feels like we could probably end this.
All right. Let's finally end this. Tilly's not coming back or whatever. All right.
Deuces.
Great show. Peace out, everybody. Tune in next week sometime for Don Bromley coming back. We're talking about the Texas Frightmare next week. Be a lot of fun. All
Bowling.
right.
Victory Lions.
Bowling Victory Lions Monday. Bye.